Hello friends, how are you? Yeah, we have discussed the IUPAC nomenclature in the last session. So this is our general organic chemistry lecture number 4. In this, we can discuss about few small definitions like homologous series and the characteristics of these organic hydrocarbons. And mainly in this lecture, I'm going to introduce isomerism of the organic compounds. Most useful concept for the board examinations as well as the competitive examinations from this topic. Okay, let us start the discussion. The first point I would like to discuss, that is nothing but homologous series. Homologous series. Homologous series. Okay, that is nothing but a group of organic compounds. Actually in this one shows similar properties. They differ from the preceding or succeeding numbers of the compounds differ by CH2 group. So what is the definition is? It is a group of organic compounds. A group of organic compounds which show similar, they show similar properties but they differ from the preceding and succeeding or succeeding number. It's not number, it's a member. It's a member by 1 CH2 unit. That is called as homologous series. And the different members of the homologous series actually are said to be homologues. So that the concept we are discussing now is homologous series. So what is homologous series? A group of organic compounds which show similar properties but differ from the preceding or succeeding member by 1 CH2 unit. And that different members, the different members are there of a homologous series. Are actually called homologues. And this phenomena is called as homology. And this phenomena is called homology. Okay. So dear students, if anybody asks what is homologous series, then you will be giving the answer. This is the definition for homologous series. And homology definition also given here, that is the different members of a homologous series are called homologues and the phenomena is called as homology. Okay, let us note the characteristics of these substances. Characteristics of these substances. The one point we have to remember here, that is all these substances have same general formula. This is for homologous series I am discussing. Okay, have same general formula. They have same general formula. Okay, and the example I'll give, that is they are alkanes. Suppose if you take they are alkanes, the general formula is CnH2n plus 2. Suppose if they are alkenes, the general formula is CnH2n. Like that, alkyne CnH2n minus 2, etc. Now, they'll show they can be prepared by same methods. That means the other one is they can be prepared by same methods. The other one, they show gradation in their physical properties. They show gradation in their physical properties. Physical properties. On the other one, they have similar chemical properties. Similar chemical properties. And the other important thing is successive members differ by CH2. Their successive members, what is the difference? CH2 group, their successive members differ by a CH2 group. In molecular formula, and molecular weight. Here molecular weight difference by 14. Why? Because one carbon is 12, two hydrogens are there in this group. So 14 is the difference in the molecular weights. Let us see. The first one, they have same general formula. They can be prepared by same methods, and they show gradation in their physical properties. They have similar chemical properties, and their successive members differ by CH group in molecular formula and molecular weight by 14. Okay, so this you have to understand before studying the organic compounds. Okay, let us move to the most important topic in this organic chemistry, that is isomerism. Isomerism. Okay, let us discuss about isomerism. Iso means same. Iso means same. Mers means parts. Mers means parts. Now, the point here discussed is the debate, the existence here, the existence of two The definition I am telling, two or more compounds, existence of two or more compounds with same molecular formula, same molecular formula with different structure, with different structure and different chemical and physical properties, different chemical and physical properties, chemical and physical properties is known as isomerism. This is called as isomerism. So once again, I am repeating the definition, that is the existence of two or more compounds with the same molecular formula with a different structure and different chemical and physical properties is known as isomerism. Now here, the compounds containing isomerism actually are said to be isomers. What are the isomers? The compounds exhibiting isomerism are known as isomers, are known as isomers. Okay. This is the most important definition. First of all, we all should understand before learning isomerism. So isomerism, iso means same, mers means parts, and that is the existence of two or more compounds with the same molecular formula with a different structure and different chemical and different physical properties is a phenomena is called as isomerism. And the compounds which will show this type of isomerism are called as isomers. Okay. Now we will see in detail about their flow chart. Okay. Now here I'd like to introduce a small flow chart for this isomerism. So isomerism, when you take isomerism, this isomerism is said to be classified according to this model based on these different structures. One we will call it as structural isomerism, structural constitutional isomerism. Structural or constitutional isomerism. The other one, you'll call it as stereo or space isomerism. Stereo or space isomerism. In this way, we can, first of all, we have to separate like this. But in this structural, we have a classification for every category. In this two, we have a individual classification is there. The one we will call it as chain isomerism. In the structural one we will call it as positional isomerism. The other one we will call it as a functional isomerism. Not only this one, we'll call it as a ring chain isomerism. And we have metamerism also comes under this category. Metamerism and also tautomerism. All are important in this classification. Okay. And moving on to the space or stereoisomerism, there is a classification broadly is there, that is separately two types are there in this. One is called as conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism, and another one is called a configurational isomerism. Configurational isomerism. But in this configurational isomerism, further we have two important categories which are discussed. The one in this one is called as geometrical isomerism. Geometrical isomerism. The other one we will call it as optical isomerism. Optical isomerism. Again, in this geometrical isomerism, we have a broad classification is there. That is called as cistrons. I'll tell you one, that is cistrons isomerism. The one. Other one is called as EZ isomerism and syn anti isomerism, as well as exo-endo isomerism. Exo-endo isomerism. Like this is classified. But mainly cistrons EZ are important, up to syn anti important. Exo-endo rarely it will comes the case in the exams. And in the optical case we have RS configurations and DL configurations also comes. Okay. So see dear friends, this is the most important tabular column to understand how the wide classification of isomerism is discussed in this one. We have structural isomerism. The one is structural isomerism or constitutional isomerism. The other one is stereo or space isomerism. In this structural isomerism, we have chain isomerism, functional isomerism, position isomerism, ring chain isomerism, metamerism, tautomerism. They are the classifications, sub-classifications. And in the stereo isomerism, we have two important. One is conformational, another one is configurational. In the configurational, we have again two important things are there: geometrical and optical isomerism. Two are there, and there again further geometrical is cistrons, EZ, syn anti, exo, endo classifications are there, as well as optical is of two kinds: RS configurations and DL configurations separately taught in this one. So dear students, you must remember these all classifications, and we have to learn step by step about this classification in this chapter. Okay, let us move to the step by step learning of these topics. Okay, first of all, we all should learn about structural isomerism. First, what we have told in this one is structural isomerism. So we'll start with the structural isomerism only here. We start with the structural isomerism in the details. Okay, let us discuss about the structural isomerism. As you know, isomerism is arising, this type of isomerism is said to be arising due to the difference in the arrangement of atoms. This will arises due to the difference in the arrangement of atoms. In the arrangement of atoms. Sometimes they may be groups also. Groups within the molecule. Within the molecule. So structural isomerism arises due to the difference in the arrangement of atoms in the molecule. And it won't disrupt any kind of reference to the space, structural isomerism. So without any reference to the space is structural isomerism. So different types of structural isomerism are there, but first we have to learn about what is the definition of structural isomerism. Is isomerism arises due to the difference in the arrangement of atoms within the molecule. Okay. Now we will see the subcategories. In that first subcategory, we are going to learn about this chain isomerism. First classification, chain isomerism. Or it also called as nuclear. It is also called as nuclear isomerism. Also called as nuclear isomerism. And what is the exact definition of this type of isomerism? Is this isomerism, this type of isomerism arising due to difference in the arrangement, different in the arrangement of carbon atoms, because we are saying chain means carbon atoms are most important in the chain. So carbon atoms in the chain. And a compound should have at least how many carbons required for the chain formation is 4 carbon atoms to exhibit this isomerism. That means what is the condition here? What is the condition? That is to exhibit this type of isomerism, compound should have at least how many carbon atoms? At least 4. That means 4 carbon atoms should be there in organic compound. In organic compound to exhibit this isomerism. To exhibit this isomerism. So we are discussing about chain isomerism. In chain isomerism, the necessary and sufficient condition to exhibit this isomerism by any organic compound is they should contain carbons. The carbon should be 4 to exhibit the chain isomerism. Okay. As the number of carbon atoms increases, what will happen? As the number of carbon atoms increases, then carbon isomers in the chain isomerism automatically increases. Okay. For that, you're going to see one small information regarding alkanes. So, for example, if you take alkane, that is C4H10. If you take C4H10, the number of possible isomers, the number of possible isomers that are 2 for this one. Okay. Likewise, if it is C5H12, it will be 3. If it is C6H14. Number of possible isomers is 5. If it is C7H16, it will be 9. Likewise, if it is C8H18, the number of possible given is 18. C9H20 given as 35. C10H22 given as 75. You see, in this manner, the isomers number from top to bottom is increasing. Number of isomers is increasing when the carbon number is increasing. See, carbon number gradually increasing. Isomer numbers also increasing suddenly here. This is the most important thing to be remembered in this discussion. Okay. Now, we will see in details about what are the structures of this one. Suppose you have taken C5H12. How the carbon chain can be written? I'll write CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. This is a straight chain. Here we have 5 carbons are there in this chain. It's a straight chain. We'll call it as N-pentane. This compound we'll call it as N-pentane. Not like this one. If you try to write this one like a branched one like this. This is CH I am taking. I continue doing like this. CH2, CH3. Here I am writing CH3. This is a chain. Any side if you consider there are 4 are there in this case. 4 carbons. Okay. 4 carbons are there in the chain. When the 4 carbons are there in the chain, then we have to say this compound actually is called as isopentane. Name of the compound is isopentane. Okay. Now, let us see another one. Here we have a carbon with 4 other carbons is there like this one. This is CH3, CH3, CH3. Here what will happen, you can take any one is the chain, 3 carbon chain. The 3 carbon chain is the main carbon chain. If you take this, you'll call it as the branched chain isomerism. This is neopentane. Its name is neopentane. Okay. So these are the 3 important types of isomers exhibited by pentane. Actually, we have taken pentane. The pentane isomers we wrote like this. Okay. Now, let us design about organic compound. Some organic compounds are there, we know. That is the chain is, the ring is there, like benzene ring is there here. Internal double bonds. To this one, I am writing CH2, CH3. So, you'll call this one as ethyl benzene. We'll call this one is ethyl benzene. Suppose if the same benzene ring is there with different locations, the CH3 groups attached. Here one CH3 is there. Here one CH3 is there. Then we will call it as orthoxylene. Orthoxylene. Similarly, that can be represented in a different manner. We have metaxylene, we have paraxylene is also there in this category. This is nothing but methoxylene hydrocarbon. We have another one, that is paraxylene. This is CH3. This is CH3. This is nothing but paraxylene. Okay. So these are the different examples I am taking, and they have same molecular formula. Okay. Okay, hope you understand what is the chain isomerism now. Now let us move on to the next category of isomerism, that we will call it as positional or region isomerism. Positional or region isomerism. Region isomerism. Actually, what is the definition of this one? This is the isomerism which will arises due to the difference in position of substance. Difference in the position of a substituent even sometimes there may be double bond also substituent, carbon carbon double bond, or that may be carbon carbon triple bond. Even that substituent may be any kind of functional group. Functional group. Okay. So this is actually the position isomerism which arises due to the difference in the position of substrate. That may be double bonded carbon, carbon carbon double bond, or carbon carbon triple bond, or any functional group. We'll see example to understand this one. Now we have taken one alcohol with formula C4H9OH, and this I could able to write in a different manner like this. That is, I can write this one as CH2OH, CH2, CH2, CH2. That means on one carbon, first carbon, I am keeping OH. This I can call it as 1 butanol. 1 butanol. Likewise, if you write this one on the second carbon, that OH, so like this, if you write, then you will call it as 2-butanol. 2-butanol. Okay. And this same situation arises when you take another example, C4H6. Here I am going to write C4H6 as CH3, CH2, C triple bond, CH. That means ine group. This is alkyne. So on first carbon, ine is there. I'll call it as 1-butane. Okay. Likewise, if I change the location of the triple bond in the middle of the carbon chain like this, see, then it is called as 2-butane. It's called as 2-butane. So observe the position of the double bond or position of a single bond, sorry, the triple bond, or the position of a functional group like OH is changed in the carbon chain. Difference in the position of functional group, difference in the position of a double bond, difference in the position of a triple bond in the carbon chain makes the positional isomers. The phenomena is called as positional isomerism. Okay. Now we'll see another example. Here we'll see Here I am going to take a benzene, orthochlorotoluene I am going to write, benzene ring I am writing, and that is having a double bonds inside it, and one CH3 group is there, is toluene. To that, next to that one Cl is there, I will call it as orthochlorotoluene. Okay. And if this is changed on the meta position, then we'll call it as metachlorotoluene. So the name of the compound is different here. This is called as metachlorobenzene. Sorry, metachlorotoluene. Metachlorotoluene. In the same fashion, if you write this one on the para position of the benzene ring, these groups, here you are writing CH3, here you are writing Cl, that you will call it as parachlorotoluene. Parachlorotoluene. So dear students, see what is the definition of position isomerism? Isomerism arises due to the difference in the position. See, in this toluene, chlorotoluene examples, the position of the chlorine is different here, observing with respect to methyl group. We are changing. So because of that one, this entire, all the examples are said to be functional position isomers or region isomers, and the phenomena is called as positional isomerism or regional isomerism. Okay. Shall we move to the next isomerism? What is the next type of isomerism we discussed? We're calling this one as the functional isomerism. This is most important. Functional isomerism. Functional isomerism. Actually, this is the isomerism arises due to the difference in the functional groups. So functional groups are different functional groups are there. Automatically what will happen? That isomerism will be comes under this category, and functional isomerism of is generally exists between the different kinds of alcohols. So this arises due to different or difference in the functional groups. At any cost, we are not going to change the formula. Do remember, the formula of the molecular formula of the substance, organic compound should not get changed, but the function group will get changed. Let us see. This is quite often in the case of alcohols and ethers. They have same general formula is there, that is CnH2n plus 2O is there. So for this I am taking an example here. You can observe now, that is C2H6O. C2H6O. In the beginning also we discussed about this one, that is ethyl alcohol, that is CH3, CH2OH. Another one, that is dimethyl ether, CH3O, CH3. So this is called as dimethyl ether. Okay. And not only this one, in this we have the other type of compounds are there, like we have carboxylic acids and esters are there. They also exhibit this type of isomerism, carboxylic acids and esters. You'll get to know what is the example for that. So I am writing an example, C2H6O. C2H6O again. In this case, first I am going to write a formula as C3. I will write C3H6O, that is CH3, CH2, COOH. First, let us calculate. 3 carbons are there, 6 hydrogens are there, and 2 oxygens are there. Okay, 2 I will take. So it is carboxylic acid, and we can write the other one in this one, that is CH3 COO CH3, CH3 COO CH3. The first one what we wrote, that is called as propanoic acid. Propanoic acid. Now the second one we wrote is an ester, that is called as methyl ethanoate. Methyl ethanoate. So this is ester. The first one is carboxylic acid. So between alcohol and ethers and carboxylic acid esters, the functional group we are writing different functional groups. So these are different functional groups. They have same general molecular formula. So what is functional isomerism? Functional isomerism arises due to the difference in the functional groups. Now we will continue with the different another examples of functional isomerism. I am taking nitroalkanes and alkyl nitrites. Okay, so general formula of this one will be CnH2n plus 1 NO2. This is general formula of this one. Okay, in this particular case I am going to give you an example, that is C2H5NO2. One we will call it as nitroethane, that is CH2NO2. This we will call it as nitroethane. The other one, that is CH3 CH2ONO. That case you'll write it as ethyl nitrate. Ethyl nitrite. So this is an example of comes under functional isomerism. Another one we'll write next, that is cyanides. We have cyanides are there, right? So we will discuss about cyanides now. Cyanides are said to be behaves like functional isomers with isocyanides. So they have a general formula, that is CnH2n plus 1n. H2n plus 1 n. So this is general formula. We'll take an example in this one, that is C2H5n. If you take in this, we will write methyl cyanide as CH3C triple bond N. What is the name of this compound? That is called as methyl cyanide. In the same fashion, when you write CH3 bond triple bond NC, triple bond after nitrogen, again you are writing carbon, that is NC. This we will call it as methyl isocyanide. Hope you observed here. First we have taken nitroalkanes and alkyl nitriles. nitrites, and cyanides and isocyanates. So these are two examples in this category, and still we have several examples are there. And now we will take alkynes, dienes, and allenes. All comes under the functional isomerism. They have a general formula CnH2n minus 2. So what is general formula of alkynes? CnH2n minus 2. Dienes, CnH2n minus 2. Allenes, CnH2n minus 2. So let us see they are correct or not. So when we have 4 carbons are there, and alkyne will check it off. 4 carbon alkyne is C4. We have 8 minus 2 is 6. C4 H6 I will take. I'm going to write this one as CH3, C triple bond C, CH3. I can call this one as but2-ine. But2-ine. So this is C4H6 formula, and the same I'd like to write as CH3, CH2 bond triple bond CH. This we'll call it as but1-ine. Okay. Next, I'd like to write the same thing, general for molecular formula, with this one, starting with CH2, because my intention is to write the double bonds, 2 double bonds in the formula. CH double bond CH2. I'll call it as but1,3. Here we have on first carbon double bond is there, on the third carbon double bond is there. So I'll call it as 1,3-butadiene or but1,3 diene. I'll call it as. At the same time, I can also write this one as CH2 double bond C double bond CH single bond CH3. This is actually IUPAC name is but1,2 diene. That is in general we will call it as common name is allene for this one. Allene is a double bonded compound. The 2 double bonds continuously will come, and alternatively comes means that is dienes, and continuously coming 2 carbon double bonds are there in the carbon chain is they are allenes. So allene is the name of this compound. Now we will see the another example, and we have functional groups are there, aldehydes, which show the isomerism, aldehydes. We have ketones are there, and some of the unsaturated alcohols are there, even or some of the unsaturated ethers are there. Unsaturated ethers are there, having a general formula that is CnH2nO is there for this type of category. So when you try to write a formula with 3 carbons, C3H6O, this can be written as a aldehyde like this. So aldehyde is propanaldehyde, that is CH3, CH2, C double bond O, single bond H is there, CHO. It is aldehyde. What is the type of aldehyde? That is called as propionaldehyde. Propionaldehyde. But this can be written as an acetone also, that is CH3, double bond was CH3, but this compound is ketone. This is acetone, is the general name of this one. At the same time, we can write allyl alcohol. Allyl alcohol means you will take a allyl group, that is double bond one. First we will take CH2. After we will write a double bond CH2OH we will write. That is called as allyl alcohol. Allyl alcohol. The next, even we can write methyl vinyl ether as an example for this formula. That is CH2 double bond CH single bond CH2OH. This is called as methyl vinyl ether. Methyl vinyl ether. Methyl vinyl ether. Okay. In such a case, this CH3 we will write, oxygen we will write in the middle here. I will show you. If we have anything is there here. Yeah. This is CH3. Okay. Methyl vinyl ether. This is methyl vinyl ether. This is these all, if you observe, we are having same formula. That is C3H6O. Here 3 carbon, 6 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. Double bond is there, that's why unsaturated. In this one, double bond is there, unsaturated. Double bond, unsaturated. This is a ketone. The second one is a ketone. The first one is aldehyde. Okay. Now, let us examine another important one. That is amines. Primary, secondary, and tertiary amines also, we will check it off. Actually, they have a general formula, that is CnH2n plus 2. N. One hydrogen extra will come, we will check it off, general formula. For tertiary amines, minimum of 3 carbons are required actually in this one. Okay. So we will take an example and to get the idea, that is C3H9N. This is the general formula, CnH2n plus 3n. This can be written as CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2. Actually, it is propanamine. Propanamine is a primary one because this NH2 is linked with one alkyl group. Okay, so it's a primary one. While that of if you take another case, that is CH3 secondary amine, I'm going to write, that is CH3 NH, and I'm going to write C2H5 to this one, that is CH2 CH3. This is called as N-methyl. On nitrogen, methyl group is there, and remaining part is nothing but ethane, so ethanamine. Ethanamine. And coming to the another category here, we have CH3. I'm going to write the tertiary amine now with the same formula, and this nitrogen I have to write in the middle. So nitrogen I am writing here CH3, like this. So I can call this, if I am writing the repeatedly the methyl groups on nitrogen, you take 2 times that one, the remaining is methanamine. So N comma N, NN dimethyl, NN dimethyl methanamine, methanamine. The second one is secondary. This third one is tertiary. So we told one thing, that to tell about the tertiary amines, minimum 3 carbons are required. So here in tertiary amine we have 3 carbons are there. Okay. But secondary and primary not requiring that number. But tertiary required minimum 3 carbons required to tell about tertiary amines in this case. Okay. Let us take about take the another example, aromatic compounds. Discussing about aromatic alcohols, aromatic ethers, and even phenols. They have same formula. They have the same formula, but different functional groups. So if you take C7H8O, we can write C7H8O as phenol, as you know, alcohol, aromatic compound also. If you write a benzene ring with CH2OH, ring with a CH2OH, it's called as benzyl alcohol. Benzyl alcohol. Okay. But if you write this one like a OH group separately and a methyl group separately, this is ortho compound, orthocresol. This is orthocresol. And at the same time, you can also write the compounds, that is cresols, phenol derivatives, one OH, one CH3 and a para positions, that is called as paracresol. And if that OH and CH3 are present at meta positions, here if you write CH3, here I write OH, they are paracresols, phenol derivatives. Okay, not only this one, you can also write ethers, aromatic ethers. That means anisole is an example for this formula. That is OCH3 methoxy group is there for the benzene ring. That is called as anisole ether. This is ether. Got it? So metacresol, paracresol, orthocresol, alcohol. So alcohol is there, phenolic functional group is there, and ether functional group is there. Ethers are there in this general formula of molecular formula of C7H8O. So it will comes under this functional isomerism. And one more example we'll see now. The last example in this session, that is, I'm going to write glucose and fructose. They are also functional isomers. Okay. First of all, I'd like to write glucose. Glucose in a aldehyde functional group is there in the glucose on top. And remaining we have carbons. So we will write 4 carbons. And the last one in the chain will write alkyl, primary alkyl group. Now we will attach the OH groups like this. Here hydrogens. Next we will write continuously the OH groups and hydrogens. In this structure, this is CHO, that is aldehyde functional group, which is present in glucose. General formula of glucose and fructose is molecular formula C6H12O6 only. So we wrote C6H12O6 like this. Okay. And I'll see the fructose case. Ketone functional group is there in addition to the primary alcohol. Here ketone we can write like this, that is in the fructose case. Here I am writing CHOH OH okay, CH2OH. So what is the functional group here is present? Ketone functional group in the fructose case. The first one is glucose. This is glucose. This is fructose. Yeah, the functional group present in fructose is ketone functional group. Okay. Okay, dear friends, dear students, in this session I have discussed about functional isomers, isomerism with examples, as well as chain isomerism and position isomerism with examples. In the next coming session, I will discuss about ring chain isomerism and tautomerism and metamerism also, which is most important for this organic chemistry. Okay, until bye bye, have a nice day. Thank you.